Will aimed at a deer, but in the next second, a lion charged out and snatched his prey right in front of him. Will steadied himself and was about to shoot the lion dead when several roars suddenly came from ahead. A male lion with cubs approached the deer, clearly planning to make it their dinner. In this post-apocalyptic world where humanity was nearly extinct, this rare display of family bonds left Will momentarily torn. Just then, his watch alarm went off. He glanced back at the setting sun, and as if receiving some danger signal, quickly called his dog and fled. Back at his shelter, Will sprayed an entire bottle of alcohol at the entrance, making sure to mask both his and his dog's scent before finally closing the door with relief. But even with such precautions, Will still felt impending danger every nightfall. He locked the steel door tight, and even the windows had been specially reinforced. Only after ensuring all doors and windows were sealed did Will hide in the bathtub with his dog. But even while sleeping, he cautiously gripped his gun. Hearing the terrifying howls outside, Will didn't dare make a single sound. He remembered that horrific medical disaster again. 3 years ago, experts claimed they'd developed a vaccine against cancer. Initially, only about 10,000 people volunteered for the injection, but they were all infected by the virus in the vaccine. The virus spread at a terrifying rate, ultimately killing 90% of humanity, while those who survived the infection almost all turned into zombies. These zombies possessed enormous strength and moved with incredible speed. Once attacked by a zombie, humans would quickly be turned into one of them. Their only weakness was fear of sunlight. They only dared appear after nightfall. Will lost all his family in that disaster. Only he survived, with his sole remaining companion being Sam, the dog who'd been with him for so long. Will kept numerous rats in his lab, using them to develop a vaccine to cure the zombies. Infected by the virus, these little creatures were as frenzied as the zombies themselves. He numbered the rats and recorded data, but most died under the virus's torment, deepening Will's disappointment each time. However, on this day, he accidentally discovered a special rat with clear eyes and much reduced aggression, reigniting Will's hope.
Compound 6 appears to be showing decreased aggression response.
To advance the experiment, Will decided to capture a zombie for human testing. He first nailed steel spikes to the bridge railing, then laid a wire rope trap at the warehouse entrance, and threw a hooked rope onto the bridge. The hook precisely caught an abandoned car he'd pushed to the bridge's edge earlier. Once a zombie triggered the trap, the car would fall, hoisting the zombie up. Will used his own blood as bait while waiting at the warehouse entrance with his gun at the ready. Moments later, a zombie indeed triggered the trap and was hoisted by the wire rope. As the zombie screamed and struggled frantically, Will struck it with his gun butt, but another zombie suddenly charged out, roaring ferociously at Will despite the scorching sun. That zombie's angry expression left Will somewhat shaken. Through its eyes, he seemed to see a trace of human emotion. In the lab, Will strapped the zombie to a hospital bed and took out the prepared serum. After one injection, the zombie suddenly became much calmer, its heartbeat slowing, seemingly returning to a normal human state. But just as Will saw hope for success, the zombie suddenly reacted violently in pain, struggling briefly before going completely limp, instantly losing all heartbeat and breathing. The experiment failed. Will could only shake his head helplessly, then turned and took out a virus injection, returning the zombie to its zombie state. The successive failures made Will somewhat anxious. His experiments had lasted so long but had never succeeded once.
Vaccine trials continue. I'm still unable to transfer my immunity to infected hosts. Crippen virus is elegant.
The next morning, Will went out with Sam as usual, but passing by the supermarket, he keenly sensed something wrong. A plastic mannequin had been placed in the middle of the road. A terrifying thought instantly flashed through Will's mind. He had deliberately placed this mannequin at the supermarket entrance yesterday, yet now it appeared in the middle of the road. If the night creatures had moved it, it meant they were no longer just howling monsters, but had evolved the ability to think, which was more terrifying than any brute force attack. In his panic, Will could only shoot wildly at the mannequin, as if only the sound of gunfire could barely suppress the fear in his heart. After a burst of shooting, Will decided to check on the mannequin first, but the moment he stepped into a puddle, he triggered a trap. The zombies had caught Will using the same method. He hit his head when hoisted up and fell unconscious. Sam barked frantically but couldn't do anything. After who knows how long, Will was awakened by his alarm clock, meaning nightfall was approaching. Will glanced at the disappearing sun and quickly pulled out his knife. He struggled to cut the rope and fell straight down. Seeing the sunlight diminishing, Will ignored his pain and quickly fled with Sam. But just then, the zombies released several vicious dogs. Though these dogs were also infected, they seemed less afraid of sunlight. The moment the last ray of light disappeared, these zombie dogs immediately charged. Will shot one dead, and Sam grappled with another. Will wanted to help with his gun, but was immediately knocked down by another zombie dog. At the critical moment, Sam saved him with a flying tackle. When Will calmed down, he found Sam was already severely injured and seemed infected by the virus, not responding to his calls. Will quickly brought him home and took out the most promising serum, but after the injection, Sam still showed no vitality. He knew what this meant and could only hold Sam tightly in his arms, singing Sam's favorite song like soothing a child. But after just a moment, Will noticed Sam was shedding fur frantically as the virus in his body activated. The next second, Sam's temperament suddenly changed completely. Will, suppressing his grief, personally ended the life of his last family member.